Thanks for all that you've done. You know, the work of Crossroads Relief and Development continues, and us, like you, we've been watching the results of these hurricanes this year. This season has been insane, and you know, Puerto Rico wasn't hit as hard by Irma as we thought, but then along comes Maria, which was absolutely insane. It hit Puerto Rico as a Category 4 storms.
I mean, look at, here you see just the devastation. In this nation, you know, well, it's actually U.S. territory in the Caribbean, and it's the people are hurting. The water situation is bad. I mean, it's just, the devastation is unbelievable.
Yeah, we're looking weeks out now here, and half the country doesn't have access to drinking water. Only 5% of people have electricity. It's just so dire. We want to make a difference in this. Oh, and you know this, I read this today, Greg, 9 out of the 69 hospitals in the territory have electricity. How do you run a hospital without electricity? You
know, when you think of the injuries and all the things that are going on there, again, devastation. But you know, Cheryl, here's the thing that happens when there are these kinds of events. There is a real physical need for sure, but there's also a spiritual need. And that's why we want to work with partners on the ground, which we are doing. And that's, I think, one of the main reasons that the Crossroads Development, and Relief has been so successful, because we're working with partners on the ground, including the local church, but trying to get the local church strong so that they can do the ministry.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the process of connecting with the local church now, kind of helping that church survive and strengthen, but also they're the ones that we find in disasters that can get the aid to the people the fastest. You know, large aid organizations, they struggle, and they find that they're not getting it there. So we find the church is great. We're working at that. We want to invite you to join us. I know you've probably been watching the news. Your hearts have been touched by what you're seeing. If you want to be part of this, give us a call at 1-800-265-3100, crossroads.ca/relief-development. And we have this huge history. You know, we've worked in Ethiopia. Remember the famine back in the day? That's kind of where all this started. We're good at relief work. We're good at, emergency aid. And it's the way that we express God's love. We can't just sit here on TV and talk about it, Greg.
No, we do it. We can't. And again, I think where people are really hurting, and it's not that we're trying to take advantage so that, they'll become Christians and all that. No, that's not the idea. But Jesus was about meeting the needs. When he fed the people, they came to hear him, but he was also feeding them. And that's what we want to be a part of this, so that we can be practical. And people tend to be very open at that point. Physically, yes, but also spiritually. And ultimately, we want to see people, spend eternity in heaven. But there's an immediate need. Puerto Rico is an absolute disaster and a mess, and we have an opportunity to help out.
I think we have so much here in the Western world, and sometimes even myself, when I thought, I don't have a lot, I go to these countries around the world and I realize I actually have a lot. And partnering with local churches is the plan, because long after we're gone and all the aid agencies are gone, and Puerto Rico will be rebuilding for years and years to come, especially with the government being in basically bankruptcy, the church is going to be there, and the church will carry on, and they'll keep doing the work. So we want to strengthen the church. We need you to help us. Again, that number, 1-800-265-3100, crossroads.ca/relief-development. I think about this interview I did, Greg, years ago with a 9-year-old little boy. He was building wells in Africa. He built a ton of wells already at that time. Oh. And I said to him, so when you look at these people suffering and you see it happen, do you blame God? Where do you think God is? And the little boy looked at me and he gave me the answer that has been my answer from that day, from the mouths of a child. He said, God put us here to do it. If it's not happening, it's because we're not doing it. So this is our chance. Let's do it. Thanks for all your help.